Today on the channel, I'm not looking for trouble. I'm looking for love with Sensational Sherri ×2 from the Grapplers and Gimmicks line.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Grapplers and Gimmicks unboxing and review. And today we got two retro sensational, aka Queen Sherri, depending on the figure, here to take a look at today. And of course, for all your Grapplers and Gimmicks needs, grapplersandgimmicks.com. That's the place you go to get these bad boys, or bad girls in this instance here. But of course, in this instance here, we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging, we're going to talk about it, we're going to unbox it, we're going to talk about it, we're going to see where it goes from there. And Sensational Sherri, one of the greatest female valets of all time. I didn't realize when I was a kid watching her of how good she really actually was. So something to be said about that for sure. I was fully convinced as a little kid that she was possibly the ugliest female in the entire world. I'd always hear Scary Sherri from Brutus Beefcake, for example. And I'd be like, yeah, Brother Brudeye, you know what you're talking about. She is scary. She is super ugly. But man, oh man, all these years later, I look at her with a different set of eyes, I guess. I took these out, put some new ones in. And she was fairly attractive. I always think in this day and age, you go back and look stuff like, man, I don't know. I think I'd take Sensational Sherri over Miss Elizabeth. If I had to choose one to go on a date with, I think I'd take Sensational Sherri. You know what? So old Scary Sherri, Sensational Sherri, Queen Sherri, Sister Sherri, whatever you want to call her. Definitely an all-timer, as we know, a Hall of Famer as well. And heck, let's get a Harlem Heat era Sensational Sherri. Would love to see Mattel do that, or Grapplers and Gimmicks. We've went this far. Might as well complete it. Let's get those done. Hopefully in the future. We'll see what happens there. But let's dive into these, and we're going to start, I guess we'll go in chronological order. Might as well here. We're going to go to Queen Sherri, ready to pair up with your Macho King, Randy Savage, of course. Beautiful retro carding on this one. We know it. We love it. We want some more of it. How about that? Grapplers and Gimmicks up there. Beautiful looking at Sherri there. The Queen right there. Ready for the proms, what she's ready for. Got her figure looking interesting here. And then off to the side, you got that kind of retro, real vintage style figure with the Royal Rage. Oh, Royal Rage. Interesting. Okay, and on the back, you got a little bit of the glamour shot. You got the cross sell, got some gibber, also a dash of jabber as well. Black and white background back there. Bulldog 97, Sensational Sherri, Randy Savage, James W. Ware, of course, on the back. Don't call him Coco. Don't call him Coco. We're going to get Sherri out of the package. Always hurts me. I would love to keep all these on card, but for science, of course, this is a science channel at the end of the day. We got to get these figures off the card. We got to see, dare I say, what all the fuss is about. And we're going to find out with old Queen Sherri here. See you later, goodbye. I'll never forget Queen Sherri getting her, like, pants ripped off by the Ultimate Warrior back in the day. It was quite the time for little Kyle, for sure, as well. But here it is, old Sensational Sherri. And I gotta be honest, first impressions out of the package on this one here really reminds me of like a cake topper, for like a wedding cake topper. I could see this on there. Once again, you're kind of stoic down here. You don't have the legs moving around. It's just a dress. But it really looks and feels like a cake topper. Now, that's not good. That's not really bad. It just is what it is here. But once again, this isn't a wrestling Sherri. And once again, I didn't say anything, but you know what I mean. But it's not a wrestling Sherri. This is a manager Sherri. It's going to sit outside of the ring. It's okay for me for what it is, but it does kind of have that cake topper feel to it right here. Articulation, the arms do go all the way around. Both arms go around. Waist articulation, head, a little bit of movement there. Not really much to write home about. So pretty much just a stoic statue here. But if you place yourself back in the late 80s, early 90s, the Hasbro playing days, I think this would have worked for me. I would have been okay with this. I wouldn't need the world for her. I got the slapping hand here, the hand on the hip, got a fist hand here. Really don't need much more out of that as a Sherri manager for sure here. But diving into the head sculpt on this one, a little bit rough, giving her the Scary Sherri look, I guess, is what you got going on. She's got those crazy wild eyes. There is she doing some lines of coke or lines of blow in the back with the Hulkster? Who knows what she's up to? She's got the eyes just way up there, and then you got those eyelashes way up as well. So got those crazy eyes. Once again, we're seeing it in a lot of wrestling figures lately, those crazy eyes. Big black hair, got the earrings going on, a little star on the cheek. Red lipstick looking good, and then of course the white crown molded into the head there. Bringing it down to the dress, you got a little bit of white there, and then after that it's a long flowing black dress on her. White heels going on, Hassel Toys 2024, easy for me to say. Made in China for her, but besides that, it's really all she wrote. That's what it is right here. But we do got, of course, the Macho King, so you pair these two up together. Not a bad sizing difference there. Maybe Sherri's a hair small maybe. But of course, that's what these are made for here, to go together in the old retro Hasbro with the Grapplers and Gimmicks. Getting a Sherri to go with the Macho King. Just imagine a kid playing. I still remember the day I picked this Macho Man up as a kid at my local Target store. And it's still there, still hunting that store all these years later. But very cool to see these two together once again. But now we're going to fast forward a little bit into Sensational Sherri's career. She ditched the Queen. Now she's sensational. And oh, she's got a crush on that Heartbreak Kid, just like us all do, of course. But looking good right there. Sherri in white, almost like a teeny bopper look. And she was like a girl doting on a guy. Like all the girls on me in high school, college, to this day, of course. We know how it goes. Just fighting them all with a stick all the time. That's what it felt like there. Grapplers and Gimmicks, once again. Beautiful look of Sherri there. That's where Sherri, I really is like, Sherri's not so bad. About this era right here. She does come with a mirror and does come with a stand. How about that as well? That is pretty cool. Does say with the Sensational Slam right there, okay? On the back, once again, very similar packaging design on the back of the last one. Retro style, of course, once again. But let's get all Sensational Sherri out of the package. And can I do it? Once again, extremely hard to get off the card. Unbelievable. Oh my gosh. Rookie, what are we doing? And where's my knife? Where's my scissors? Right here, I guess. You get that out, hopefully. That came right off the card this time. But we're going to get everything out. We're going to get Sherri. We're going to get the mirror. And we're going to get the stand out as well. Come on, Sherri. Come on out of the package. Come out and play like a young warrior. See you later. Goodbye. All right. Getting down to business here. Give that the old see you later. Ooh, that was a bad see you later, but it worked. It worked. At the end of the day, all right, let's get down to it. We got this little mirror here. Fairly genius for this one. Got the red trim around it. It is a heart mirror, and it's an actual mirror. I can actually see myself in there. Kyle, you look tired. Were you at the Exodus show till about 1 a.m. and then got up about 6? Maybe. But we do got the mirror here. You got the red on the back as well. Of course, Sherri used to hold that mirror for Shawn Michaels, and Shawn would do one of these in the mirror, messing with his hair and stuff. So once again, on brand for Sensational Sherri. First time in the line stand. You guys know me, I'm a sucker for a stand. She must, and she does, have a hole in her foot. I would say that's some constructive criticism, whatever you want to call it. I feel like all action figures should have a hole in their foot for some kind of stand. You just never know. You could live in a land where there's an earthquake every day. You need a stand. Who knows why you might need it? But I would like to see all these figures come with a stand if that's at all possible. I will say Sherri fits perfectly on that stand. Have to imagine this stand is for her because the females, especially high-heeled ones, always tough to stand on their own. But then you put this mirror into the equation, it might make her fall back and forth. So it's a pretty good stabilizing, a good idea from the Grapplers and Gimmicks team. I will say that on that one there. Now diving into this figure, once again, doesn't feel like a cake topper this time because you don't got that kind of base. And I should say this really reminds me of the Sable Bone Cruncher back in the day. You remember that figure? Oh, that's a deep cut there, but it reminds me a lot of that one as well. And why don't we got Sable figures all these years later? I can't believe none of these retro companies, Mattel, I can't believe nobody's got a Sable figure out in forever. That's kind of seems like a miss to me. Have to imagine somebody's working on that, you would think. But on this one, you got the same articulation going on. Arms around, waist, head back and forth. No legs, anything like that. She just got the white shirt here, kind of a half tank top. I don't know what you call that exactly. Got the puffy shoulders there. Got the white gloves all the way up to the forearms. A short white skirt there, and then you got the white high-heeled boots looking very good. A little black down there as well. She is truly looking sensational right here. You got the S's on the cheek, got the big earrings, got the hair up in the air this time. Looking good, old Sensational Sherri, I will say. I'm going to put her back on this stand. Not a bad figure on this one here. Really, Sherri's had so many different gimmicks and so many different looks. You go back to her being just a straight-up wrestler wearing the singlet and all that kind of stuff. You go to the Queen Sherri, the Sister Sherri, Sensational Sherri. There's been a lot of incarnations over the years. There's no doubt about it. And of course, she's going to hold this mirror for Shawn. You can put this in her hands. Going to have to work on that here for a second, but you can put that there for her. She can show it, say, hey, Shawn, check yourself out. Check yourself out in the mirror, and I guess should grab that Shawn figure right there. We can kind of just have those guys going together. Makes sense. A lot like this one carries over to this one. Very, very cool. Smart idea with that mirror. That mirror was a game changer idea. And you could even use that mirror for your regular Sensational Sherri, of course, in the Elite line. So it'd be very cool to have that. I'm almost shocked we haven't seen like a Threadhead or one of the companies make something like this for an Elite Sherri figure. But you could have her with Shawn Michaels. You could reenact the same thing. I think the mirror works either way. So just a little customizer tip if somebody wanted to do that as well. But looking very good. And then I figured, why don't we compare some other female wrestling figures to the Grapplers and Gimmicks one? I guess the first female of Grapplers and Gimmicks, you got Diana Hart-Smith, so you can see how those align right there. But then moving on from that, how about the Mattel Alundra Blaze? A lot bigger in the Mattel, as you can imagine, or as you can see right here. How about that? And then going way back to the Cella days, how about this one? A little Luna Vachon, which almost feels about right. Luna was fairly short, if I remember correctly. I mean, she wasn't a little person by any means, but she was fairly shorter than she looked on TV, but really felt the old Cello ones. That one, Chelsea Green, very, very undersized. Still think that way, but you know what? The Sherris are not bad at all. They're not bad. Obviously, the face sculpt, not as detailed as an Elite. It is a retro style figure, so you got to take that into consideration a little bit there. But still very good, and I love that they are companion pieces to former Hasbros, and I always say this line really feels like the continuation of the Hasbros, where the Zombie Sailor and the KWKs, they feel like an extension of the Hasbros, but how they would have morphed into the future. This feels like if Hasbro just kind of stayed the same and kept on going. That's how this retro line feels to me. And Mattel's a little bit of everything in between, really, at the same time. So it's really interesting in the retro space, but I know a lot of people are retroed out. It's getting tough to keep up, even for me, financially and just awareness. It is getting tough to keep up with some of these. There's only so much money to go around, and do you need, 5 Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorffs or whatever it might be from some of these companies? You got to look yourself in the mirror. Maybe I can start using this mirror to look myself. I can just start looking at this one. This could be my reflecting mirror on my retro collection. I could use that for this in the future. We'll see what happens there, but that's it. Sensational Sherri ×2. What are your guys' thoughts? You like one more than the other? Let me know in the comments. Did you pick these up, or were they a pass for you? Let me know in the comments as well. Don't forget to like this video. Always helps the channel. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and my other YouTube channel. Getting dangerously close to 50,000 subscribers. We got to think of an amazing giveaway for 50,000. So help me get there, and we'll do some giveaways. Maybe we'll do 5 giveaways. Maybe we'll do something like that. So dangerously close to 50,000. I'm going to put you guys to work. Get subscribing to that channel over there. Check out the Patreon for even more content if that is your thing. ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. Don't forget me now on TikTok. All the dance moves over there. Of course, SirPaul64 on the X. _Kyle_Peterson on Threads. And on Instagram. So for Sensational Sherri, the Macho Man, and Shawn Michaels, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.